Just comment box say yes if everyone can, if they can hear my voice. Hello, in comment box, just you can say yes. Okay, 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 fine, fine, fine. Great, great, great. So, guys, this is me, Gaurav Patil. Yeah, I'm working industry, DevOps engineer. So, first of all, yeah, 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 fine, fine, fine. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so this industry, DevOps, why it is needed nowadays in the software development process, basically, there is a very key role of DevOps engineer. So, DevOps side, I think everyone know. Anyone can tell me the full form of DevOps? Anyone in the comment box, chat box, if they know? Anyone? That will be very also DevOps. What is DevOps? Development and operation. Yes, Suresh. Yeah, great, great, great. Great. So yeah, so DevOps engineer basically, few years back, what happened in the industry? Development is the process, right? In the software development process, people basically build the code. Then there is a testing team, and then there is a operation teams, right? So it is quite difficult to get back. So the operation teams doesn't know about the deployment development process, and that's why there is a need that time about the DevOps field. Okay, so DevOps guy, DevOps person, what he will do? So he would take basically a collaboration of development and operation team. So what he has an idea of the development process also, he has an idea of the operation process also. Okay, so between the development and operation. So different tools introduced in this, basically we could say in this field, that is called development related and operations related. So Docker is one of the that tool, we could say Docker. Okay, so आप Hindi, how many are there in Hindi? Please in Hindi. Okay, so how many are there and comfortable in Hindi also? No, okay. Praveen is saying no, Hindi, English. Okay, okay, okay. Let me, I can explain a bit in Hindi also and English also. So basically, कुछ tools है जैसे Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins. Okay, so this is what DevOps engineer actually works on. So today's session is completely related to about. I can give you a basic idea of this. What is Docker? What is Kubernetes? What is a Jenkins? Basically, uh, so what actually these tools actually where it useful. So let's say it is also we can call as a Docker. You can call first. You should understand the virtualization technique. Okay, what is virtualization? Why it is needed? So what happened to create and complete infrastructure? Every time it is quite difficult. Okay, last 5 6 years, this virtualization technology is quite improved, and everybody so eager, and industries nowadays are actually working on these technologies, right? Virtualization. So let's say that if you guys are working on software in, let's say you have one company yourself. Okay, you need to basically introduce, there are 10 to 15 developers are there, so it is quite difficult every time to give, and every resource different virtual different machines and all. So virtualization techniques actually came, and it actually helps us. So we basically create different machines. Let's say a developer, he wants to work you can say on a simple machine. We need only one CPU and a small one CPU RAM, one CPU and 2 GB RAM. Okay, and let's say there is another developer who need basically a high resource machine, like some say, you can say that 30 GB RAM is needed, or 20 core CPU is needed. That time basically it is quite difficult to how to give every developer everything. So virtualization, what actually that time, you simply on your whatever your physical infrastructure you have, with the help of nowadays you guys know about, anyone know VMware and all this, uh, they basically provides you the. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I also share my screen. Don't worry, guys. I will share my screen. Currently, screen is not. I am not in sharing mode. I will share my screen. Don't worry. So yeah, in the virtual machines, basically VMware and Oracle, yes, these they have actually provided this technology. So see, you have a physical bare machine, okay, and let's say there are 10 to 15 developers are working, and that's what I say that if anyone needed, let's say he need 2 GB RAM, or any developer who needs a 30 GB RAM. So as an infrastructure manager, okay, what you could do is you simply, with the help of your physical machine which has a large capacity, you can divide and allocate a particular machines, and you can divide these machines whatever is needed. So, okay, so the guy who is working, some say, you can say he is working on some gaming applications, okay, and he need a very high intense uh, resources, right? So that time, that infra manager, what he will do, he will allocate him a high CPU and RAM machine, okay. And same thing, the guy who is only trying to testing anything, or he need some OS which having hands-on on just basic R&D kind of thing. He just wants to deploy his code. He just wants to check whether code is properly working or not. That time, infrastructure manager, what he will allocate him a, okay, 500, okay, I'll give you 1 GB RAM machine, okay. So that time, this VMware and Oracle, they actually provides you these things, okay. So let's say VM are fine, but now again new technology is needed, that is called as Docker. Why it is needed? So yeah, we also share the notes also, Aditya, we will share our notes also. So Docker is one of the tool introduced, which help having a different kind of, you could say, advantages and disadvantages also. So but industries currently, as a DevOps engineer, if you are interested to enter in this field, I must say you should start with your journey with the Docker, okay. So Docker is one of the tool which having a basic and it's very easy also to learn, okay. So it has a different okay, I will first say what is the Docker. So Docker, it is a very lightweight container platform, okay. So whoever developer is, he this platform will allow developers to basically, he can package his application and all its dependency into containers. So first you should know what is containers and why it is needed, okay. So let's say uh, okay, let's say I have developed one application, okay, and I have created applications on my VM, my machines. Now I want to deploy that application in the production environment, okay. So basically, if you guys, if there are any working whoever join in this webinar, they would know that there are different kind of environments in your organization. Well, that is a production environment, one is the testing environment, UAT, SIT, you could say. So if my application I have created, okay, now my client, he is seated on some remote location. He has some different, basically his physical machines, everything is different. His OS is different. He's running on some Ubuntu, CentOS, something. And the developer, I am the developer. I have created that application. Let's say I have created a Python application or Java based applications, and the application has some dependencies. Now I want to give that client that, okay, this is my application, I have tested completely, now I am giving you this application, you just you can use this. How would he use this? Because there are so many dependencies, okay. Like that, you answer that, I am the developer, I have created application in different environment, and a user is in different environment. So how that guy will get the same, it is very quite hectical, right, to create a same kind of infrastructure, to create the same kind of OS and all. So that time, this Docker will help. What Docker will do? Docker will simply allows developer to package his applications. Okay, so whatever the applications I have, let's say Python applications, I have created my applications with the help of Python 3.10. Okay, so Python needed all these dependencies. Like let's say I need to connect my Python application with the my you can say database. So I will use Python's utility called as a SQL connector or something like that. Okay. So what I will do, I will create an environment. That Docker will help me to create an environment which has all the dependencies. Like with the help of what I will do, I will simply create a requirement.txt and I will add all my dependencies and in requirement.txt, and then I will simply create a virtual container, and I will give that basically not container, you can say it as an image. Okay, in the Docker language, you can say it as an image. I will give that image, I will push that image one repository. So there is new term called repository. If you guys know about the repository, you can say in the comment box, I will explain you. So repository also it is called as there is a public repository, very well public repository. In the comment box, you can mention which repositories you know. So the repositories like Docker Hub is one of the best repositories. If you guys are on your VM on your machine, you can simply Google it, dockerhub.com. You will get an open source repository. You can create your account first. So I'm a developer. What I will do, I will first create an environment with the help of Docker. So at that time, I will need a Docker file. Okay, so I will simply mention all the steps of this containerized application inside the Docker file. With the help of that Docker file, I will create my image. Let's say Python test. My application name is Python. Okay, Python. You can say my application is some testing application. Okay, so I can give name as a testing application. So I can create with the help of Docker file. I can create the image having the name testing. Then I will push that image into that public repository. Currently, I am using the public repository. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I'm also sharing my screen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that time Docker will help me. Docker basically it is an open source platform. It is basically the technique which I have said you technology that is called as containerization. So it is package all my application dependencies and application into a standard unit called container. So what I will do, I will simply push that container to the public repository. You can call it as a Docker hub. Okay, and if you are the guy who is working on some environment, we can with the help of then there is new technology called as a CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So what this CI/CD engineer or what as a DevOps engineer with the help of CI/CD technology you will do, you will perform a complete pipeline. I think you guys know about the pipeline. Anybody know pipeline? Have you guys heard about the pipeline? Pipeline in this context. Okay, so what this guy will do, he has create a simple pipeline. The developer, any developer like me, I can deploy, I can just push my code into the git. Have you guys worked on the git also? Anybody knows about gitlab? Okay, yes. So git is a source code management, SCM. So basically I am the guy, I pushed all my code to that source code management. I am the developer. And then with the help of Docker file, first it simply create all this, whatever the code you have pushed, it will create that image, which the steps I have mentioned in the Docker file. The image will push then to the repository means the Docker, or if you are working on AWS, there is a ECR called repository, different repositories. JFrog is one of the repositories. So in that repository basically stores, okay, repository simply stores all my images. So all the images which I have created as a developer, I can save that images into the repository, and the guy who is my user or the production environment wherever it is, I can simply, with the help of CI/CD, in the CI/CD basically I will add all the process, and I have create one pipeline that developer just need to push his code, and it will automatically deploy my application to the production environment, and it will allow or expose one IP to that user, and he we can simply access the application. That is what a complete CI/CD is there. Okay, so as a first you should know the Docker. So if you are working on a, if you are interested to enter in this DevOps field, I first advise everybody to first work on the Docker yourself. Okay, so get an hands on Docker. What is the Docker? So what is it? Docker, it is a very lightweight application, portable. It gives you isolated environments. Okay, so you can say, "Oh, sir, I can also work on VM, I can also on Docker, so why I should work on Docker?" Okay, so I advise you, if VM is very difficult, okay, I need to every time create a complete machines. It is quite expensive also. Process is quite lengthy, and every time if anything happens you have to reboot the whole machine. So that is why VM is very difficult. Okay, so I would advise him that if your application is small, if you just simply need an application, then you can simply dockerize your application, make it in the containerized format, and then deploy it. Okay, so that is what Docker is. I think everybody know basic thing of. I tried to, yeah, Docker is free. Docker is free. Docker is open source. You simply you can easily work on Docker also. If you guys having hands on, every if anybody works on AWS, you guys know about the AWS cloud. Anyone? I think our this tool basically this screen, they also provide a greater experience on the, they have a very expertise on this AWS cloud also. So I will simply advise everybody of you to create an account on AWS. As a student you can create an AWS account. Okay, yeah, I will also give you, don't worry, I will also give you a basic idea of Docker, how it works, and I can also give you. So I have a simple secure AWS here. I just have created one EC2. EC2, you know, if anybody of you know EC2, what is it? EC2 is one of the machine. Okay, so if you don't have the access, it's simply AWS. You can create a elastic, yeah, elastic compute service. Yeah, you could guys, you guys can create EC2, and in that EC2, I simply everyone to advise basically to install a Docker. I will give you the steps first. Okay, so I think everybody knows how Docker is work. You can simply see this is the ship container architecture. So let's say you have a three-tier application. Anybody know three-tier application? Anybody know three-tier application, two-tier application? Anybody? Okay, many of those. Okay, so those who don't know, so three-tier means, let's say my application, what it requires, it is a front-end application. Okay, it also require a backend. Also it requires to basically store my data. That is called, you can simply call it a storage, MySQL or something. Okay, data storage. Okay, so what I will do as a DevOps engineer, I will create a three-tier application. So first one is three microservice, you can say. It is about the front end application, one microservice. Another microservice is about the backend, and a third microservice is about the database server. Yes, everyone. Yeah. Many of them in the comment box is saying they know about it. Yeah. So, as a DevOps engineer, I have to create these three microservice. So, with the help of Docker, I can create. So, first, I will give you the how Docker architecture works. This is what a containerized application. In the right hand side, it is about the virtual machines. Okay, so you have a infrastructure. On top of infrastructure, you have hypervisor, and with the help of on the top of hypervisor, virtual machines are there. But what Docker will do, Docker simply, you don't need to create a multiple machines, virtual machines to for every different process. Okay, so with the help of Docker, what I will do, I will simply create a different microservice. I can simply create different, you can say, different containers. Okay, so this is a Docker, basically difference between the virtual machine and the Docker. So why Docker is very helpful? Basically, Docker, it is very lightweight, faster life cycle. Okay, Docker has a very faster, matlab you can easily create a Docker image. It is Docker file is very easy, and delivery cycle is very fast. Okay, I just have said that any user who has any platform, if he has a different OS, different machines, different Ubuntu version is also different. Okay, so it can a Docker is ability to run anywhere. So my application or my container which I have created, the Docker I can give him, whoever that, he just need to install a Docker, and that application can run on his machine or whatever the physical machine is working. It is very simple configuration, and quite resources are available on internet. Okay, so Docker architecture. So basically, five major components of the Docker architecture. Okay, so Docker client, then another one is Docker daemon, Docker host, Docker registry, and Docker objects. I try to simply explain it in the layman language. Okay, guys, because many of here have joined, they are means quite freshers. So I try to simplify it in very layman language. Okay, if you have doubt, you can simply write it in the comment box. And also
Hello, Gaurav sir. Actually, you are mute.
Yes, there is a mic issue. Gaurav, you're not audible. Unmute yourself first. Don't worry, guys. It will sort it in 1 minute. There is a network issue. That's why it's happened. Is there is some tech issue? It's just 2 minutes, guys. There is a network issue at Gaurav sir side. Sir is rejoining. Just hold for 2 minutes, guys. After session, there is a quiz, guys. We'll share the link in chat box. Sir is joining within a minute.
My voice येतोय का?
Yes, yes, Gaurav, you're audible now.
Sorry guys, sorry because of that might be the reason why I got disconnected. So yeah, everybody, hello. So I'm sharing my screen. I'm just sharing the how Docker architecture basically works. Okay, so many of you, can you see my screen? Just on the comment box, just say yes. I'm just showing you how Docker architecture basically works. What is the request? What is this? Okay, basic idea of that. Anybody? Okay, okay. Many are saying yes. Okay, okay. Fine, fine, fine. Thank you, guys. So basically, this is what a Docker architecture is. Okay. So this is a client. You are a client. Okay. So basically, you request this to Docker daemon. So you guys, I just have explain you what is the daemon. Let me again explain this. Daemons means in the Linux, basically in the OS or anything. Daemons concept means the process which is running background continuously. Okay, so if you basically log out from your system anything, still there are some process continuously running. Okay, so that is called a daemon process. So if you anything, if you by mistakenly you have log out or something, that machine got disrupted anything, still the daemon process continuously work. Okay, it will run on the background side. That is what the daemon. So Docker basically works as a daemon process. Okay, so it won't shut down if you manually shut down the Docker or manually uninstall the Docker. Okay, whenever if you have installed a Docker, simply by installing in the Linux or in your Windows anywhere, if you haven't manually forcefully uninstall it, Docker continuously runs in the background. Okay, so as a client, you are a client. Okay, you will going to send a request. What is your requirement? So what I have just suggested that I want to create an image. Okay, for that we need a Docker file. Docker file has all the steps to create basically image. Okay, so this is the command of Docker build. So this command as a client, I will send this to the daemon. What daemon will do? It will simply create the image. Okay, and if the second command, that is the Docker pull or Docker push, different commands are there. So the image which are created with the help of Docker, if you want to deploy that image or if you want to push that image into registry, daemon will see whether image has been created or not. Daemon basically has a connectivity with your external repository or registry. In the Amazon, I have already said ECR is one of the registry, Docker Hub is one of the registry, JFrog is one of the registry. You can simply push your image to this registry. Registry basically store all of your images. Okay, all the images will be stored inside the registry. So there is a client or if there is a user, he has a different environment. He is also a client. Okay, so his OS on his host, Docker is also running. So the image which you have deployed in the registry, that your user, he will pull that image in from with the help of Docker. He will request the Docker that I need this particular image from Docker registry, and the Docker run is the command to basically trigger that image. Okay, so I think everybody got an understanding. Yeah, what is the registry? Yeah, repository, and what is the basic architecture of Docker? How it actually works. Okay, so I will just give you a simple idea. Currently, I have Amazon EC2. I have created EC2 instance. Okay, so I already have logged in that EC2, and I will show you how to basically what is the Docker. Okay, I think everybody is can able to see this Windows PowerShell. This is the OS currently running. Okay, I will try to connect my this EC2 instance which just I have created. I have created this key file. Okay, let me connect this. Yeah, it just has connected. Okay, so I have give access to EC2 user. Already have given access. So let's check whether Docker is there or not. You can simply check with this command systemctl status Docker. Okay, you can see here active, it is quite running. Okay, so that means I already have installed Docker in my system. So guys, you guys are able to see my screen. Okay, how this shell is working. So this is a OS is Ubuntu. you want to check by the command, okay. Uh, okay, let me show you the Docker basic command, okay. Now I want to pull a image from internet, okay. Let's say there is an image called nginx, so there is a command called docker pull nginx. This command will basically pull the image, so image is already present in my registry. Let me remove that image. This is the command to check whether image is there or not. So docker images, by this command you can get an idea that which images are there, okay. Now I simply want to run. Basically I already have said this is just an image, okay guys, this is just an image. Currently it is not in running condition, it is just it's stored to my local system. Now I want to run that image. So to run the image, the command is there, docker run nginx, okay. Okay, currently it is running. I need to it in detach mode. Detach means it should run in the background. So docker run -d is the command for a detach mode. Docker run hyphen. Okay. If you check docker ps will show you which command, which container is running. And see, this is just 4 seconds back. I have created this container called as nginx. Okay. So I think you guys got an idea. Yeah, the different commands are there. So in the detailed course, basically you will get an complete idea how to pull the image, how to run the image, how to run the container, what are the steps basically to create the docker file. There is a command in your working environment, you can create a docker file. The help of docker file, you need to perform some commands from Ubuntu. All these are the steps. So this all will be created, and this with the help of docker file I need to build the image. So docker build, I can give the name of the image, okay, whatever the image, the testing image you have just have created, and you need to give the docker file location that this is my docker file. So this will build the image. Currently it is failing because I haven't given it a complete detailed information. So that is the process, guys. So for this you need to basically registered with skillected.com, okay. So there are professionals, they will give you a complete idea and hands-on on this, how you can create with the help, there are on the with the help of cloud, Amazon or Azure, you can simply create your free account, and how you can configure docker in your EC2 in your system, and what are the steps to basically create the image, to deploy it in the repository, to pull the image, and how to run a complete application, okay. So I think for this you don't need a coding knowledge, you simply need a basic idea how this basically performs, okay. And DSA and all, there are so many misconceptions are there. You need DSA, you need so many programming knowledge. So anybody wants to basically enter into this field, DevOps is very good opportunity, okay. So that is what the docker is. Now I will give you a next one that is called as Kubernetes. So which the one we I have already shared, this is called an one container, okay. Now what happened, let's say you are a DevOps engineer and you are working in your organization, and your organization basically you need to manage so many applications, right? Actually in the production environment you need to basically manage a 15, 30, 40, 50 applications, okay. That time, every time you create a image, every time on different virtual machines or in your machine, it is quite difficult, okay. So that time a new technology called as Kubernetes basically introduced. It has been created by Google and currently managed by the CNCF. If you can go to the CNCF website, you can get an idea. Cloud Native Computing Foundation. This foundation basically manage different open source tools called as different, which I have shared. Containerd, some Kubernetes, RTO Hub, Istio, okay, CICD, Jenkins, all has been managed by this CNCF website. Okay, so for the Kubernetes, what Kubernetes basically do? So let's say basically Netflix. You guys know about the Netflix. Many of you know about the Netflix. Just tell in the comment box you know about the Netflix. Okay, many of you already watched movies in the Netflix. Right? So what happened in the Netflix? In the daytime when Netflix runs, we basically go to the your job, and that time you don't use Netflix, okay? But at the evening or with when you are with your family or night time, you basically use many of users data basically increase on Netflix, okay? So Netflix has a tremendous problem that time, that they were clueless how to manage this traffic issue, that on the night time or in the sometimes or the weekend time the traffic gets increased, and the weekend or the weekdays the traffic is again goes to the normal, means it is in quite low. So that time Kubernetes basically they introduce a new concept called Kubernetes. So what is Kubernetes? Kubernetes has a pod scaling concept. So what happened, the container which I have given you, the same and advanced name called as pod current in Kubernetes. So it is called as a pod scale architecture. When the user traffic gets increased, na, what happen automatically these containers get increased. The containers which I have given you the idea, okay? So these containers basically increase when user traffic goes increase, and when user traffic goes decrease, containers number of containers is basically goes reduce. So that is called horizontal pod auto scaling and vertical pod auto scaling. It is also a new concept. So Kubernetes basically manage a number of pods, number of containers. It is a very difficult architecture, but surely our course basically give a complete hands-on on basic idea how Kubernetes also works. So in the Kubernetes, basically you as a Kubernetes administrator, you can basically manage multiple pods, number of pods, number of applications in your infrastructure. So as an infrastructure manager, you have a single platform which has a different applications with the front end, back end, storage side, stateful application, stateless application, and the Kubernetes automatically manage. You need to first create a Kubernetes cluster which has a different configuration, and you simply deploy your application, your pod, your container into the Kubernetes, and Kubernetes itself will handle all the traffic issue, rollout issue, scaling issue, rollback issue. So let's say you are an administrator, and your new application got deployed, okay? Now you need to again do something new, okay? In the Kubernetes will have a zero downtime called as zero downtime service called as a rolling update strategy. Different strategies are there. So this is what as a layman language I am trying to basically give you an overhauling approach. What is this called as, what is the Docker called, what is the Kubernetes called? So Docker is the basic version, okay? So you are as a DevOps engineer, you need to first whatever is your application, you need to Dockerize your application, okay? Then your application will, what you as a, you will deploy that application into the Kubernetes. Kubernetes is basically is your infrastructure, okay? So what are the feature of Kubernetes? It has automated rollout, scaling capacity. Scaling, just I have mentioned that automatically the traffic gets increased, you can give auto scaling or reduce your infra, whatever is needed as per your requirement. Rollback strategies, service discovery, load balancer, all are the jargons of the Kubernetes. I will in the course we will completely cover all these aspects of the Kubernetes. Kubernetes, guys, it is, if you have create Kubernetes cluster now, it is very easy to manage your applications. If you want to learn about the Kubernetes, also there is a platform called as killercoda.com. Here on the Killer Coda, you can simply can get an idea of the Kubernetes environment. You can simply log in yourself with the killercoda.com. In the chat box also I will mention about the killercoda.com. You can simply get an idea. It will give you a basic testing environment of the Kubernetes, okay? So in the AWS also you can create, but I think they will take an extra money from yourself, okay? So if you want free access, you can go to Killer Coda. So that is what a Docker is, and that is what a Kubernetes is. I tried to explain you the Docker and Kubernetes. We'll go again in depth of this. If you simply want to learn about the Docker, there is a website called docker.io. It will give you a complete idea of the Docker what is Docker, how it basically works. And if you want the Kubernetes idea, you can go to kubernetes.io. Okay, kubernetes.io. These two are the main documents are there, blogs are there, different gives you a complete understanding. Community forum is also there. Many open source, basically a developer, there is a community forum, you can simply put your questions. There are developers, they can give you an idea of what it is and what it is. Okay, so that is what a Docker is, and that is what Kubernetes is. Next, the third item which I tried to explain is that is the Jenkins. Okay, what is the Jenkins? So as a DevOps engineer, you should know first what is the CI/CD. How many of you know the CI/CD? Anybody can in the chat box mention the CI/CD, full form of CI/CD. Anybody know the full form of CI/CD? What is the CI/CD? What is this CI? What is the mean by of CD? Anyone? 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 Yeah, continuous integration, continuous deployment. Yeah. Good, guys. Good. Many of you know about the CI/CD. Yes. So CI/CD means continuous integration and continuous deployment. There are two meaning of the CD: deployment also and delivery also. Okay, I can give you a basic idea what is the difference between the continuous delivery and what is the difference between continuous deployment. Okay, so Jenkins is one of the open source tools. You can simply go to the Jenkins website. Jenkins is one of the simple tool uh, on open source tool is available. So with the help of Jenkins, you can basically continuously integrate and continuously deploy your application. So this Jenkins, it is a mediator work as a mediator. What this Jenkins will do, it will basically create the pipeline, the word which I have mentioned on the starting of this boot camp. What is meant by pipeline? So to create these pipelines, to basically, what pipelines can be different. Okay, guys, if you simply need to build your code and test it, you don't want to deploy it, you can simply create a pipeline which can just test your code and give you the feedback that yes, give you the developer the feedback that this is the wrong, this is what you can achieve. Okay, so that is with the help of Jenkins you can create these multiple pipelines. So Jenkins basically is having a architecture which gives you a multiple plugins. If you can go to the Jenkins website, you can give an idea. Jenkins documentation is there. You just simply if you want to, guys, I'll also advise you to go to the official website of Jenkins, Docker and Kubernetes. They give you a complete holistic idea how to install the Jenkins, what are the requirements, what is the blue ocean strategy, how to manage, what are the different plugins. The plugins are there. So what plugins will do? Okay, so you have created Docker. Now you want to integrate your Docker with Jenkins. Okay, or else you have created your code and deployed in the GitHub. Okay, now you want to connect your GitHub with Jenkins. So there are the plugins, different plugins, that with the help of that plugins you simply need to install the plugins into your Jenkins UI, and the Jenkins then can create the pipeline. And different advantages of Jenkins also. Okay, guys, you could manually, periodically, automatically build your software development projects. It is open source. Okay, uh, many of you don't know the difference between the CD, continuous delivery and deployment. I will tell you delivery and deployment difference. So let's say you are a CI/CD you have CI/CD admin. You need to basically automatically deploy your code in the production. That time deployment, continuous deployment. And if you need a manual intervention, there, no, I need something, I need to check whether all this process is okay or not. That is called a continuous delivery. That is the difference, guys. Continuous delivery and continuous deployment. So Jenkins is used by all teams, all different size. It is a open source. It has a large, you can say, plugins available. Community forum is also available. Open source, lightweight, simply installation process is very easy in your machine. Also in your EC2 machine also, you can simply install your Jenkins, all these things. Okay, it is continuous integration, continuous deployment, helps for delivering deployment. It also, if you guys, anybody from you have joined from the testing team, they want Jira and all. So in that you can also manually write down your testing automated cases in the Jenkins. Okay, it will also provide you build and release management, scalability also. If you want to perform a multiple pipelines, so Jenkins has that architecture, that master slave architecture, that parallelly it will your execute your job. It has a community forum, it is open source and cost effective. So that is the Jenkins is there. I tried to basically install it, but my machine has some issue. Because of that, I wasn't able to basically install. I can give you the basic idea. So in our course, we will give you a holistic approach, complete hands-on basic details of the Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins. So the as a DevOps manager, you can as a DevOps, you can simply manage all these tools. And this course which we have provided, we have professionals having a many years of experience in industry. They will give you a complete idea of this hands-on tools. Also they have this lab also. They have testing platform also available. You simply need to log in with their website. Okay, and they will give you a complete idea of how basically this you can get an idea of all these things. Okay, so I think you have any questions, you can simply mention in the chat box. um, I am also available. I can try to give you a basic idea of what I try to basically attend some of the questions. There are some questions. One second. Just taking 1 minute. Huh? Okay, okay. Yes, yes. So yeah, guys, any questions you have? Yeah, we will provide the notes also of this webinar. Don't worry. If you need to basically, our skill collected professionals are there. They will provide you this PPT notes, all these things. Okay. Certificates also we can provide. You need to basically pass this exam. I think quiz about this. Okay, and you can get a prize of this. Also, you can get an idea. Okay, this is a new field. If you want to enter into the DevOps field, I will highly advise you to start with the Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins. Okay, first also you can also get an basic idea of this cloud network. Our professionals will give you an idea how AWS basically works. You can simply create your student account and you can get an hands-on on this all the cloud services. Okay, so that's it. And yeah, recorded sessions also available of this session. Yeah, Skillected our professionals will share you the